You know, Liza Seelowluser may be the best known, and I know she probably doesn't like this title, I don't know, maybe we're past this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Probably the best known female woman business person in the state of Mississippi, if not the best known, one of the best known. Her story of starting her agency, the Cirlot agency, with what, Liza, $25?
78.
How many?
78.
Well, that's a little bit better,
Yeah.
$78, but still not a whole lot of money to one of the region's greatest and most respected advertising and PR agencies. Is a tremendous inspirational story. And Liza is going to speak this morning on what's God got to do with it, keeping the faith and sense of purpose during any crisis. Liza?
Okay, thank you. I'm honored to be here, and it's always fun to come to Belhaven, one of my favorite places in the whole wide world.
A little bit closer in the mic, Liza, please. We want to hear what you have to say.
I'm known as a low talker. Okay, well, here you go. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. I would like to just give you a few scriptures to try to frame some of my comments. And the first one is from Job 2, 9 through 10. Then his wife said to him, "Do you still hold fast your integrity? Curse God and die." Can you believe he has to live with that? He had to live with that. It was amazing. But Job said to her, "You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God and not accept adversity?" In all this, Job did not sin with his lips. And I think we can all kind of easily sin with our lips and negativity and things like that. And Job didn't even do that through all that he went through. And so as we're looking at all the economic issues and crisis, I have to realize that, you know, God isn't short of cash. God does not need cash to do his work. And if we are fulfilling his purpose and he is working through us, the economy is not the issue. Psalms 46, and I've got to get my glasses. I was trying to do this without it because I look so good in glasses. Psalms 46, verse 1 through 3, and then again in verse 10. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear. Though the earth shall change, the mountains tremble. In verse 10 it says, "Cease striving and know that I am God." Cease striving and know that I am God. Quit trying to do it all yourself. He's saying, I've got it under control for you. Just know that I am God. Jeremiah 29:11, so many of us are familiar with. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare, not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope." And then Matthew 6:33, "Seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." When we're looking at a storm coming, I think it's very important that we keep our faith and we set our sails. We know the winds are going to blow. We know something's going to happen. We've all been through Katrina and Camille and things like that that affected the entire state. When we have seen those storms coming in the firm, we have set our sails. And over the past 26 years, I started the company in 1984, and in the past 26 years, I've seen the best of times and I've seen the worst of times. But more importantly, I've seen the best of times in the worst of times. In the 1990s, if you may remember, there were a whole bunch of independent financial institutions, non-competing banks and markets. And then all of a sudden they merged together or they were acquired. And through all those mergers and acquisitions, well, we handled 14 non-competing banks through Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And all we had to do is to work first quarter of the year, and we've made all the profit we needed because of annual reports and campaigns launching and everything like that. So by the end of March, we could shut the doors and be happy for the rest of the year. And then within a 24-month period, all of those merged to where out of 14, we were representing 2 banks. We saw that coming, and so our strategy was to open a marketing research company called PMR Research, or Precision Marketing Research, to try to compete and to try to overcome that. At the same time, we were getting into the defense industry, and the defense industry and our clients there took us international to where we were doing more business on an international basis to our allies. We were doing twice as much as we were doing domestically. And in the 1990s, God blessed us through all of that because we were willing to be flexible and to be willing to be open to more than what this community or this state was offering. When, you know, the year 2000, do y'all remember the dot-com crash? Doesn't that seem like a million years ago? You know, and so we had the dot-com crash that just opened our eyes. Then 9/11. Then 2008 with this economic crisis that we're dealing with. The past 10 years for any business and any professional has been very, very challenging. And we will look at that, you know, going on through the years as one of the most historical times in business, but also one of the most defining times, I think, in our profession. And then as far as our companies go and the success of our companies, we were looking last week and ran across a business journal cleaning out files that from the, I think 1988, 1989, it was the Mississippi Business Journal. There were over 60 firms in the state of Mississippi like ours. Right now, there may be 20, maybe, in the state of Mississippi. And our entire industry has changed simply because the parent companies that have been based or home-based in the state of Mississippi have been sold to the larger companies, have been sold to out-of-state firms. Most of the financial institutions are now owned by a conglomerate. Hospitals are owned by out-of-state companies, and utilities as well, Entergy, Mississippi Valley Gas. Those are now part of Atmos, part of our Mississippi Power is now Entergy. So all of that went out of state, and that's where we, our companies like mine, got our business. So that forced us immediately out of state, but fortunately we were already international. We were working in the defense industry, so we had a great opportunity there to grow.